welcome back to my channel. So in this video I wanted to bring to you my first trimester recap. I am currently in my second trimester of my pregnancy, my first pregnancy, and I did not do week by week bump dates or pregnancy updates. I chose to just do a trimester by trimester recap. So this is the first trimester recap. If you're interested in seeing what I went through during my first trimester of my first pregnancy, keep on watching. Okay guys, so I do have some notes down here, so if you see me look down, it's because I don't want to forget anything. I wrote some things down because I definitely want to tell you guys. So let's start off with the first thing that, thinking back, now I know had something to do with me being pregnant. At the time, I had no idea. So I started to have some early breakouts. I wasn't really sure where they were coming from. I had like a pimple on my chin here, and it was really sore and really large. And then I had another one like right in my cheek area, like maybe a week later after that. And I don't typically get pimples like that. Even when I'm about to start my cycle, I usually don't. So looking back on it, that was kind of like a red flag, but during the time I had no idea that it was connected to me being pregnant at all. But now, come to think of it, I really do think it had something to do with the hormones and everything in my body, because I normally do not break out like that at all. And there was nothing that I changed about my skin routine or anything like that. And I hadn't eaten any new foods that I'm not used to eating. So for my skin to break out like that back to back, it should have been a red flag. But of course, that's not too big of a red flag for me to know, oh, you know, it means you're pregnant, especially when I've never been pregnant before. So that was the first symptom. The second and third symptoms kind of threw me off because they are identical to the symptoms that I experience when I'm about to start my cycle. So the first one was really sore breast or tender breast. I definitely had that. And then cramping. I definitely had cramping. So the tender breast, like I said, I normally get that when I'm about to start my cycle. So that was nothing new. The thing that threw me off, and I should have paid more attention to it at the time, and I didn't, was the length of time that I had tender breast. Usually, if it's my cycle, it may be the week before I'm going to come on my cycle, and then after that, it's over, it's done with, and then I start my cycle. Looking back on it, I had tender breast for at least 3 weeks. At least 3 weeks before I started noticing, like, hey, this is way longer than normal. My cycle has not come, and I have that feeling like, you know how you're experiencing your PMS symptoms and you just have that feeling that your cycle is coming? I had that feeling for far too long. It was like 3 weeks. And I was just going about my daily life, working, doing whatever I needed to do on the weekends. And in the back of my mind, because I felt like that, in the back of my mind, my cycle was coming. And it wasn't until it had been like 3 weeks before I noticed that, hey, like, I've been feeling like this way too long. What's going on? You know, whatever. So, and then I had recently started to use a cycle tracker app on my phone. And it wasn't until after about 3 weeks, and I said to myself, I've been feeling like this way too long. Where's my cycle? Where's my cycle? That I looked at my app and I saw how many days my cycle was this time around. And I was like, whoa, that doesn't sound right, you know. But again, it had been 3 weeks that I had been feeling like that before I even put 2 and 2 together. Like, I was just going about my normal life. The next symptom that I experienced was nausea. I did have some nausea in the very beginning, and I think it was because I wasn't eating enough, because I would get nausea the first thing when I woke up. So if I didn't eat something right away, put something on my stomach, I would get nauseous. And then throughout the day, I found that I would get nauseous and get that feeling like I needed to vomit, even though I didn't need to vomit, if I didn't eat something every few hours. So before, you guys know that I was doing the keto lifestyle of eating, and so I was used to not eating every couple of hours. Like, that just wasn't what I was doing. And so I think a lot of my nausea came from me not eating as frequently enough, and not taking in enough food. So after I would eat or put something on my stomach, the nausea would go away. I would be fine. But I did have to learn that in the beginning. Like when I wake up, I need to put something on my stomach. Every few hours during work or during the day, I need to put something on my stomach as well. And it doesn't have to be full meals, but I have to put something. My stomach, when it was empty, it was horrible. Like my nausea, I was nauseous all the time whenever my stomach was empty and I was hungry. So it took, you know, a week or so for me to put two and two together that I was linking the two. And then once I started implementing traveling with snacks and things like that, and then implementing putting something on my stomach as soon as I woke up, we were good to go. Another thing that I had were headaches. I did experience a few headaches in the beginning. I want to say that was in like, maybe like the second to third month. I definitely had headaches. I would wait until, a lot of them I would wait until they went away on their own. But then I had, I think 2. I didn't have them that often either. They were like maybe once every week or once every week and a half I would have them. But I only had like 4 in total, and the first 2 weren't that bad, so I kind of just waited until they passed. The second 2 were really, really bad, and I could not find the number to my nurse's line for my doctor's office. And so I was really, really frustrated because I didn't know what I could take. I knew I could take Tylenol, but I didn't know the strength. So I asked around and I found out that I could take which Tylenol I could take. And so those 2 times I did have to take Tylenol those times because it was like really unbearable. But after that, I have not, like I do have the Tylenol in my purse. I travel with it just in case. But after that, I haven't had any more headaches at all. And right now I am in my second trimester. Like I said, I'm 17 weeks and 5 days today, and I haven't had any more headaches, knock on wood, hopefully, since like probably like the end of month 3. So I was happy that those kind of subsided and went away on their own. The next symptom that I experienced was hunger. Like I was extremely hungry in my first trimester. Like I constantly, like I said, I had to be eating something every few hours. I was constantly hungry. And then I think because I changed my eating schedule and my eating habits, my hunger just grew. Like once I started eating every couple of hours, it was just like I could not get enough food in. And so I was trying to find healthier options like apples and salads and stuff like that because I was eating way more than I was used to eating before. So hunger was definitely one of the symptoms that I experienced, and I feel like I still experience that symptom now, but I think my body has just gotten used to my eating habits and the amount of food that I'm taking in. So maybe to me it doesn't seem like I'm as hungry now, but I'm probably eating the same amount. I'm just used to it. Another symptom that I experienced in the first trimester was, I call it back stretching or back pulling. It felt like my lower back, I would have pain in my lower back, but the pain wasn't unbearable, honestly. It felt like every now and then I would get a sharp pain, which, you know, obviously that hurts, but it would go away instantly. But I would feel it every now and then. And then sometimes I would feel like my lower back was like pulling in opposite directions. So it was just like, and I mentioned it to my OBGYN, and she said it was basically that my body was, you know, getting everything in position that needed to be in position basically for pregnancy and everything. And so I was trying to explain to her. She gave me a pamphlet on back pain and, you know, different stretches and things to do for it. But that's kind of how it felt to me. That's how I explain it. It felt like my lower back was being pulled in opposite directions, and it was like stretching. So I definitely felt that, and it didn't feel good, but I didn't feel that all the time, okay? And then I also would get a sharp pain in my side or like my hip area. So like if I would bend over or anything like that, bend down, it would be like a sharp shooting pain, and then it would just go away like in seconds. It didn't stay long at all, but it would hurt. And so I would have to be careful how I bent down or how I lifted my leg or anything like that. But That doesn't happen, that didn't happen that often. It doesn't really happen now. So I guess that was just a thing back then. Another thing, someone had asked me if I experienced like mood swings. I don't really think I did. Yeah, I don't really think I did. I just was in shock. I would say I was in shock because obviously this wasn't a planned pregnancy, but I don't think like my mood changed or anything like that. Like I don't think I had mood swings in the first trimester. Second trimester, definitely, but not in the first trimester. And then the last symptom that I wrote down to tell you guys was fatigue. You guys, I was so tired. First of all, before I even found out I was pregnant, I had to call out of work and I slept the entire day. Like I wasn't asleep the entire day, but I was in the bed under the covers resting the entire day, sleeping on and off. And I just could not understand why I was so exhausted, but I was so tired. So looking back on it, I understand why I was tired, but I had no idea I was pregnant at the time. I was exhausted. I still am. It's gotten better in the second trimester, but I still am. I definitely rest way more than I rested before. So for those of you who always tell me to take it easy, you know, take a breather, sit back, do a little less or whatever, I'm definitely doing that now by force because I am exhausted. But first trimester, it was really, really bad. I would literally have to lay my head down on my desk at work and take a nap. Like literally, like I was that tired and I had no idea why I was so tired. I was just exhausted. I tried to decorate my Christmas tree and putting the ribbon on it, which was the first step, took me out. I never even finished decorating my Christmas tree this past Christmas season because I was just that tired. Like, and I love to decorate. You guys know that. So actually, my best friend says that was her first clue that something was up because I could not decorate my tree. I was that exhausted. So the whole first trimester, I was just tired. Well, I would come home from work and literally climb in bed. I would eat my meals in bed. I was exhausted. Like that was all I wanted to do. Doing anything other than going to work and coming home and getting in bed sounded like such a task. I was so tired all the time. So that was the last symptom that I wrote down to tell you guys, but I saved it for last because that was the most serious. Like I was exhausted. But back to the sore breast, that did go away shortly after I took the pregnancy test and found out I was pregnant. That and the cramping went away almost immediately. But again, they had been there for about 3 weeks. So yeah, those were all of my symptoms. So let's move on to cravings because so many people have asked me, have I been craving anything or what were my cravings or anything like that. So my number one craving during my first trimester was grapes, okay? I would walk around with a whole bag of grapes at any given moment. I would buy 2 and 3 bags from the store at a time. I loved grapes. I had to have them. That was the thing I would eat first thing in the morning when I woke up. That's what I wanted to put on my stomach. That's what I was snacking on. That's what I was eating all during work. That's what I was eating at home. Even on the weekends, I was going to my parents' house and I would bring grapes with me. And it didn't matter whether they were green or red, as long as I had grapes. I wanted the crunchy grapes, seedless grapes. They were bae during the first trimester. I haven't really craved them. I still like them and I still eat them now, but I can get away with buying like 1 bag per week now. Before, like I said, I was buying at least 3 bags a week. And I was eating grapes every single day. That's how much I loved grapes. And grapes can be expensive. I did not care. I wanted grapes. The second thing I was craving was the chocolate Frosties from Wendy's, okay? I loved those, and I normally don't get them. I've had them before, but I normally don't get them. I don't know where the urge to eat one came from, but all of a sudden I wanted them more frequently than normal. So Ronnie got me the little Frosty keychain where if you make a purchase, you get a small one free every time you go to Wendy's, just because I always wanted chocolate Frosties. That has since gone away. I haven't had a chocolate Frosty in a very long time, and I haven't really wanted one. But first trimester, like I wanted them a lot. The last craving that I can remember was my strongest craving ever. And it was my strongest craving because I did not eat it during the whole first trimester because I thought I could not. And that was a hoagie sandwich or an Italian sandwich, whatever you want to call it. I wanted one so bad. Mind you, I had been doing keto for a very long time before I found out I was pregnant, before I got pregnant. So I was staying away from the carbs. So I really wasn't eating sandwiches like that. But I wanted a hoagie or Italian sandwich so bad. And I figured that I couldn't have it because of the deli meat and because of the risk of listeria. Well, I went the entire first trimester wanting one so bad and not eating it, and that made me want it even more. Finally, when I got into my second trimester, I asked my OB about the risk of listeria through deli meat and whether it was true that I could not have it at all. And she was like, "Girl, go ahead and eat your sandwich." She was like, I'm not telling you to eat it every day, but you can have your sandwich, enjoy your sandwich, you'll be fine. She said in her 20 years of experience, she's seen one case of listeria and it wasn't from deli meat at all. And I was primarily talking about the prepackaged deli meat anyway in the store, not the deli meat, from the fresh deli, which I'm assuming the risk is a little higher. But when she told me that, you guys, it was like music to my ears. I think I went out that night. I did. I went out that night because my doctor's appointment was on Valentine's Day. I went out that night and I got me a hoagie sandwich, and you could not tell me anything. I got me a hoagie sandwich, a personal bag of chips, and peach tea, and I was in heaven. Like, that's all I wanted. And since then I have had them probably like once a week, because I still have that craving for it, and I don't know where that craving came from. It's really ironic because my mom says when she was pregnant with me and my siblings, she craved them, and then my sister, who just had my niece 5 months ago, she craved them, but she held out until the very end of her pregnancy before she had one. But I just think it's really ironic and crazy that all three of us have craved that. And it's not something that I normally ate. So it's not like I missed it and that's why I wanted it so bad. You guys, that craving was the strongest of all. And I'm so happy that she told me and gave me the go-ahead to eat them. I don't eat them that often, obviously. But y'all, that sandwich was so good, and I think it was so good because I wanted it so long, and I convinced myself I couldn't have it. So that was my craving. What else changed? So in the first trimester, I started picking up weight. So let's talk about weight gain. Like I said, I was doing keto before, so I was not really introducing the sugar and the carbs. So I knew when I stopped that lifestyle that I would put back on some water weight right away. So I gained, I think I want to say I gained like 12 pounds in my first trimester, which was freaking me out because a lot of people don't even gain any weight in their first trimester. But I would say at least half of that was attributable to me introducing sugars and carbs back in. And immediately, the scale started to go up because now I'm eating these every day, and I went from not eating them for months and months and months. So I did gain about 12 pounds in the first trimester. I wasn't too happy about that because I was a scale and a numbers person when I was doing keto. I weighed myself far too often, but I just keep reminding myself that this is for a good cause, this is a blessing, and that weight gain is inevitable in this process. My doctors have already told me they wanted me to gain weight, and so obviously here we are. But that is what I gained in the first trimester. What else? I also had to go maternity clothes shopping in the first trimester, guys. Yes. So not so much my tops. My tops were fine, but my bottoms were really uncomfortable if they weren't leggings or like elastic waist. Towards the end of my first trimester, the buckle on jeans and different slacks and things would irritate the bottom of my stomach. And so I had to go out and get a few maternity bottoms. I actually got some tops as well just to get them, but I sized up in the top so that I could grow into them. This is actually one of them now. But I had to go out primarily for some bottoms, and I found that I really like the full panel pants better than the side panels. So maternity bottoms come in two different styles. It's the full panel that goes over your stomach. It's like fabric that goes over your stomach, and it actually helps shape your stomach under your top or your blouse. And then there are bottoms that only have the side panel, where it's like a stretchy material or fabric on the sides of your pants so that they can stretch and grow with you, basically, with you and baby. I have discovered that I really prefer the full panel pants. So I got 2 pair of jeans and like 2 pair of leggings just to start me out. And those pretty much got me through the first trimester. A lot of my work clothes were already too big because I had lost so much weight in keto. And yes, I had started purchasing new clothes at new size, at my smaller size, but I never got rid of my larger sizes. So I was good to go as far as my professional attire, the pants at least. I had room in my bigger ones. My smaller ones fit for a while, but as I got closer to the end of my first trimester, they did get a little too tight, and I just was not able to do there's like an elastic band trick that you can do where you don't buckle your pants buckle. I couldn't do any of that. It was uncomfortable for me. I didn't like it. So I would just wear my bigger bottoms that I no longer could fit after keto, and they have been fine. I can wear a belt with them. They're fine. Now in my second trimester, I don't even need a belt with them. They're fine. And then I have been wearing both maternity and non-maternity tops, because some of my tops for work were more flowy, so they've been fine. And then some of my more fitted tops, I have opted to purchase maternity wear. I honestly do not spend a lot of money on maternity wear because I don't feel like I'm going to wear it that often and for that long. So for me, first trimester, I went to Ross, and I think I spent like $100. I got maybe like 5 or 6 shirts and like 4 bottoms, 2 pair of leggings, and 2 pair of jeans, and that got me through my first trimester, honestly. I've since went back to Ross for a re-up, basically, because the jeans that I purchased, I kind of have outgrown them, so I had to size up again, but that again wasn't in the first trimester, that's in the second trimester. But that is where I shopped for my maternity clothes, Ross, because I feel like you get the most bang for your buck there. I do want to try the maternity jeans at Target. If you have tried them, drop me a comment below and let me know what you think about them. I think they're by the brand Isabella Maternity there. They are kind of pricey. I think they're like $30 to $35. So when you compare that to Ross, I just bought a pair of maternity jeans from Ross, and I think I paid $15.99 for them. So when you compare it to a store like Ross, yes, it is expensive, but I think the quality may be better, and so I'm interested to see the fit as well. So if you have experience with the Isabella Maternity jeans from Target, let me know, specifically the full panel, because like I said, I really prefer the full panel over the side panels. So let's see what else we did. Symptoms, cravings, weight, clothing. Oh, I wanted to show you guys the vitamins that I'm taking. So I am taking prenatal vitamins. I'm taking the 1-a-day women's, and these have the DHA and also the folic acid in there. And so I just get them from Target. You can get them from a million different places. I get them from Target, and yeah, so I take one of these. They have not made me sick or anything. I take them with water. I take them with juice. I make sure I try to take them at the same time every day so that I don't forget. I'm pretty sure I have missed a day or two in between. But for the most part, I've taken them every day since we found out that I was pregnant. So these are my prenatals. Somebody asked me about my hair, if I've noticed a difference with my hair since taking the prenatals. I do know that my hair is growing. I don't know if it's attributable to the prenatal vitamins or not, because my hair typically does grow. So I'm not really sure. And I kept my hair in braids the majority of the summer and winter. So I literally just took it out of the braids and got it blown out. It has grown, but again, I don't know if that's attributable to the prenatals or just because my hair is growing, because my hair always, you know, typically grows. So I'm not sure, but these are the vitamins that I take. I take one of these a day, and yeah. The other supplement that I take sometimes, I take it sporadically. My sister-in-law told me about magnesium pills, and these are the 250 milligrams. I asked my doctor about this before I started taking them. She said it wouldn't hurt anything. It's not necessary, but you know, you can take them if you want. And basically this supports nerve, muscle, and heart function. And so basically, from what I understand, you can take them when you're pregnant to help your muscles and everything with, you know, childbirth and child labor and all that stuff. So like I said, I don't take this every day. I take them sometimes here and there. But yes, this was recommended by my sister-in-law, who has recently had 2 children. So I do take those, and I don't have any side effects to these either. So yeah, I've been pretty lucky in that department, as my doctor says. The last thing I wanted to talk about was morning sickness. That was a symptom that I did not mention in the beginning segment of this video because, guys, I did not experience it at all. I didn't have morning sickness. Like I said, I would get nauseous in the morning if I didn't eat something and put something on my stomach. But as soon as I did, I was fine. I never had morning sickness. Some people were waiting to see if it was going to come in the second trimester. It never did. Everybody thought it was a boy because I wasn't sick. But I'm having a girl. If you missed my previous videos, we did find out the gender. I am having a girl, and I have not experienced any morning sickness. So now, after we have found out the gender, I am meeting more and more women who said, you know what, I had a girl and I wasn't sick either. But before that, I was convinced, and everybody else was convinced, that we were having a boy because I was just not sick at all. Like, I wasn't sick. So that is why you didn't hear about that symptom in the beginning of the video during the symptoms portion, because that was not a symptom that I experienced at all. So I consider myself lucky, like my doctor said, and I'm blessed in that department. I do not wish that on anybody out here that it sucks, but that's something that I did not personally experience. So I think that's it for the bump date. I am going to show you my bump now, my belly now, and again, I am 17 weeks 5 days today, and this is Monday, March the 2nd. So on Wednesday I'll be 18 weeks. And so yeah, I should have shown you guys my stomach if I would have filmed and got this uploaded during the very end of my first trimester, but I am into my second trimester now, only a few weeks, so it's still, I guess, kind of accurate, but I have picked up weight in these last couple of weeks. So here is my bump from the front. As you can see, I definitely have noticed that my breasts are getting larger. I'm having to use the larger bras that I stopped wearing after I was doing keto, but you know, it's for a good cause. That's fine. This is a maternity top, so you can see like the ruching on the side. This is my bump from the side. I already feel like I'm huge already. And then this is my bump from the other side. And again, this is 17 weeks 5 days, so almost 18 weeks. But yeah, guys, that's it for my first trimester recap. I hope I answered all your questions. I hope I hit everything and I didn't forget anything. If you have any questions for me, leave them down in the comments below, and I'll be sure to get back to you. Bye.